How are you?
Oh.
Oh,
How
you're
are you doing?
freezing up a little bit. Are you at home?
Yeah. Yeah. Is it not working?
It's just freezing up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. My daughter's also doing a yoga class over Zoom, so maybe there's too much on the bandwidth.
I know. It's just what is not in the bandwidth today, right? Like my daughter's doing is dancing. He's in the dance class right now. My son is
Mhm.
playing video game.
Right.
He's done with school. I'm here. John is upstairs. So we have four devices right now.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Do you feel are you feeling like exhaustion from your electronic devices?
Um, since I think that really depends on what's going on outside. Like the sunshine being out and the ability to get out and have some balance, I think has helped. But we just have trouble, I think, with the schedule balancing. Like we all stay up, well, most of us, not all of us, stay up too late, and because they don't need to be up and at 8.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Exhaustion from the being on the computers all the time.
I am. I'm having it, yeah. Because
Yeah.
before I would go to the gym to work out, right? I would go
Right.
to Pilates class, or I would go to a class, or I would go to spinning. So I was leaving the house and going to a different building, a different environment, and seeing people. And that would be like an hour and a half, an hour, 45-minute thing. I would go to the store every day.
Yeah.
Um, but now I'm just I am exercising at home, but I'm using the computer to follow the classes.
Yeah.
And even though I go outside and I hike a lot, I'm feeling so, and for the first time, like this is the first week that I'm feeling so overloaded with the
Mhm.
computer and the Zoom calls. And granted, this is, this is how I run my business. It has always been through Zoom calls. I never see a client face to face, but everything is through Zoom call now. Everything.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Right? Hanging out with friends has been through Zoom call. Friends' birthdays, Zoom calls. So
Yeah.
yesterday, and I think that I noticed for the first time yesterday because we didn't have power, but not only that, because when we don't have power, we can run the generator and plug in the router and have
Right.
Wi-Fi. But when PG&E shuts, unplugs our Wi-Fi cable, then we don't have that. And that happened yesterday. We didn't get our Wi-Fi back until 5:45 p.m. So it really was a full day, Stecia, without an electronic device.
That's nice.
It was so nice.
Should
I
go
read
outside.
for 3 hours straight.
Mm.
I can't remember when was the last time I done that.
Yeah. Seriously.
It was so nice to look
The-
outside and see Gus sitting there and just reading a book.
Yeah. Right.
Because we don't have a good
Yeah.
cell like
Good
data
thought.
connection up here. So if we don't have Wi-Fi, our phones just like you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
upload photos, you can't be on social media, you can't do much.
Yeah. The
So
frustration.
so the kids weren't doing anything. But then that's the thing, like there was no frustration during
Yeah.
the day. They start getting
Mhm.
NC, like 4 o'clock came in, and our notice says that we'll get the power back at 4:30. So 4 o'clock comes and they're like, what time is it again? Do you think we're going to get our power before 4:30? But until then, it just felt so calm yesterday. It felt so tranquil.
Yeah. Yeah. You probably also, it's quieter when everything's off. Like there's a buzz
Hmm.
from all the electrical appliances and the electricity that we don't notice till it's gone.
Oh my God, you're right. Never thought about that, but you're right. The
Yeah.
buzz, the humming, there
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. People
Like
notice that during the power outages, and it's like when you're on a hike way out in the middle of nowhere, and you hear it's like that stillness. Yeah.
well, I have not noticed until now, but it's true.
Mhm. It's nice.
It's nice. So, do you want to lead us through a little meditation today?
Sure.
What are you feeling?
Yeah, I can do that. I kind of took one that I found, and then I kind of added my own things to it. So let's try it.
Okay.
So take a moment to put your feet, both soles on the ground, not cross-legged. If you're wearing glasses, it's helpful to take them off so you don't feel any weight on your face. And close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths, and as you do, feel your chest rise and fall with each inhalation and exhalation. And bring your breath even down into your stomach and feel your stomach expand. And let go. It's best to breathe through the nose and in and out the nose if you can. And as you continue to breathe slowly and deeply, letting your attention go in with the breath and out. Every time you exhale, notice that any tension that is in your body kind of just going out with the exhalation. So as you bring in the next breath, feel any tension, kind of do a check through your body. Any tension in your face, relax. Any tension in your shoulders, relax. Any tension in your diaphragm, hips, legs, moving down, just let it all go. So you are basically melting into your chair and the floor. And visualize as you are doing this, when each breath goes out, let the tension flow out with the breath. On your next exhale, hold on one second. Like I'm doing a meditation, please. Quiet. Sorry. On your next inhalation, take a moment and focus on your heart center and really feel this is your heart chakra, right? Your fourth chakra, and feel the continually to visualize something that you are grateful for. Be that a person in your life, an experience, something that you saw, and hold that as you inhale the next breath. Hold that in your heart space. And feel how that feels to hold that gratitude of the thing that you're grateful for. Right, and feel it expanding out into your thoughts that drift through your mind. And just let them go. Make you feel more gratitude, appreciate them, and let it just keep feeling that gratitude in your heart center, in your heart space. Now, bring your attention to the whole body, kind of feel how that gratitude has resonated kind of out through your field and through up into your fifth chakra, sixth, up to the top of the head and all the way down, because we're starting in the center. So down to the third, which is where we are grounded into the earth, move into our body. Into the second, which is our emotional center, and then into our root, where we ground into the earth. So feel that gratitude that is resonating from the heart through your whole being. And really feel the expansiveness. I hear the birds chirping. That's nice. So as we now, to close, what I'd like to do is have everyone imagine a big yellow golden ball of light above your head. And as this comes down, shining on you, we're going to have that energy, the frequency of that golden vibration is going to set that gratitude into our system and into our energy system, and kind of hold, so we can hold that vibration, that frequency of gratitude that is in our heart right now in a more permanent state. And really feel what that gratitude feels like, and the love and the light in this universe, and really feeling the love that connects everything. And come back to your center. Let yourself kind of drift back to your conscious mind. You can still feel that heart center and the love and how it feels to integrate the two. And feel your feet on the floor and your bottom in your chair and your breath, and come back to where we are, to awareness in this present moment with gratitude.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That felt so good. You really did. I needed that today.
It's so important to take the time to do the meditations and really work with the energies, especially right now.
Yeah. It's so interesting how it puts it in at least it placed me in a different space, time, and energy level. One of, abundance, if you will, and visualizing that gold light. I know you didn't mention that in the guided meditation, but for me, like, that light came in and it's like radiated out into this, like, that ball of light just kept expanding, just like radiating it out as if, it just, and it felt so good feeling that energy, feeling the expansion of that energy, and also feeling touching others, like we are all connected, like everything just connecting itself, and it just felt so good. Stecia, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really like including the definitely that energy of the golden light is like, it does it. You can feel it's like you become like a ball of sun.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, because I actually picture myself like floating up in the air. That's the vision that I had. And which was funny because I saw myself in the meadow
Mm-hmm.
with, I always, when I'm meditating, I always find myself either on the beach or on the meadow with some body of water of some sort, always moving. But like, as I saw the ball of light, like my body felt so light. And at some point I was really high up and I became this big ball of light. I don't want to feel full of myself, but almost like I became a vessel of the energy that expanded. And that made me feel so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what we're like, bringing in our connection to source. You call it, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah. It felt so good. It felt so good. And, over the weekend, as I mentioned to you, someone sent started a little group thread on gratitude at this moment, which is interesting. No one has ever invited me to one. I always start one,
Uh-huh.
the little courses and runnings that I do, but someone sent out this one gratitude thread and it said, think of your life up to this point. You are who you are partly because of all the people that came in and out of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So the exercise was to write 50 names, at least, it could be more, but couldn't be less, of people who have impacted or influenced me somehow. They could still be alive, they could be dead, they could still be in my life, they may not be anymore. And it's interesting because when I first received that text, I thought, well, 50 names is a lot. Not that I don't feel grateful for people, but I just think that sometimes we get so attached to certain um, preformed ideas of things. So the number 50 felt so big at the time, right? I'm going to write 50 names of people I'm grateful for that have influenced my life. So it took me a whole day to do that exercise. And you see, like that just comes to prove again, I'm human and I go with the motions and emotions just like everybody else, even though I have all this training and all of this knowledge and all of this understanding. When I did it the next day, so I did my meditation in the morning, I wrote my gratitude journal, and then I wrote to sit down the 15 names. Somehow it was very organic. I started from the moment I was little, very, very
Mm-hmm.
little. And all the all the people who were part of my little life at the moment, and as I'm older and as I'm growing and as I'm changing and as I'm evolving, and all of a sudden, because I numbered 1 through 50, then I'm going passing that and
Mm-hmm.
thinking, okay, that's good enough for now. But part of that exercise is you think of the person, how did that person influence you, and what did you think of that person? So
Right.
having these 3 steps to each person took
Mm-hmm.
my gratitude practice to a total different level.
So interesting.
I
Yeah.
suggest you doing that too. It really changes how we look at people and
Yeah.
how we truly forget things. And
True. And the interconnectedness that we forget and take for granted sometimes.
right, exactly. I wrote down people who I had big falling outs.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason, and I remember thinking, but why I'm writing this name? Well, because with this person, this is what I learned, or these were such a great moments that I had with only this person. I never had this after or before this experience. And you really, I mean, I can't even tell you how it took my gratitude practice to a different level of mindfulness. It
Mm-hmm.
really did. Like, really not taking for granted anything that happens in life, even if it's bad ones. Like I
Yeah.
wrote some name of people there who stole things from me, but before they did that, we had some great experiences, and that taught me something, and that affected me in a positive way somehow. Um, and then it was interesting because in the meditation today, and I didn't think as I'm doing the meditation that that's where it's going to go, but when you said, hold in your heart what you're grateful for, it was all those people, because I started out being really grateful for my life and what I'm able to do right now during this time. That, we've talked about this before. Um, the house that shelters me in is a big home. Each one of us can go to a different corner and not overcrowd and not disturb each other in our Zoom meetings, not be on each other's nerves. We've been here for 6 weeks already, but yet it doesn't feel like it's different than living in a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, right? Where there's no backyard and you share a room with a ton of other people, or it's a very small dwelling. Like I am fortunate. I have this big house where we can all go to separate places. So I started that way, and then all of a sudden the thought came, and I am where I am because of all the people who came through my life. And because of them, their presence helped shape my life and
Right.
helped me create what I've created to be where I am.
Right. Like Ram Dass says, we're all walking each other home. We're all taking each other on our journey of growth in this life.
Oh, it was so good. And then, I just hope that I will have a lot of people someday in their lives thinking, oh, Miriam was so great. This is what I remember of her, and make them feel as good about me as I feel about them or people in my past. Because it's giving me a very different set of emotions.
Right. Well, it's beautiful too, because like it takes anything that was negative and where there was a negative energy stored and basically transmutes that into what you learned from it and gratitude. And so it really elevates the gratitude experience of throughout, in your whole journey. So it's a great, it's really cool. It's beautiful.
It really is. It really elevates. And you're right. It takes the negativity and turns into true positivity
Mm-hmm.
by just accepting the natural rhythm and flow of the progression of the relationship.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That
do
was
that.
true.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great.
Sorry, I still feel in bliss. I think it was good. How are your kids doing? Like, have you been talking to them about their feelings, um, their
Yeah, I think
emotions?
um, I think everyone's like, I think that part of the reason what we're talking about is important is because, and we've talked about this before, because when we kind of set the environment, we all pick up on each other's state of being. And if we're anxious or we feed into one of their feelings of anxiousness or feeling, antsy or claustrophobic or frustrated, it doesn't really serve anyone. So it's kind of like where, how can we acknowledge, not, put it under the rug, but acknowledge that whatever people are going through and like, say, okay, so what now? What can we do now? So, yeah, I mean, there've been some frustration, but I think mostly everyone's kind of just settled into kind of the rhythm of, and there's like, um, yeah, the rhythm's okay. I think.
Yeah.
My daughters both turned 16 on this end of the week, and they're sad that they can't see their friends for their birthday. But working on making it still special. So other than things like that, it's been okay. How about for your kids?
They, you know, they are also doing okay. They've been adjusting quite well to everything. And we've been having conversations lately about how they actually feel, what is going inside their minds and their hearts. And, it's sad in one end because they both said that, you know, there's not like the days are all the same. Not one day
Mhm.
is different than the other. And I think we talked about that before. Like, there's not much to look forward to.
Right. Yeah.
So
I
for
disagree.
them is creating this level of boredom that is entrenched with sadness and, a little bit of fear for the future because it's uncertain. My son yesterday asked if I thought school may not even start next year. And I said, honey, I
Mhm.
really don't know that. No one knows. Like, we really don't. And I don't think it's healthy for us to think that far, but we can totally talk about that because it is a valid fear, right? But it's like seeing them expressing themselves that way just wants to make me fix everything for them, in a way. And then just, so I've been putting hikes together and we go play puzzles or we play board games or we watch shows together. And I realized yesterday that I was just trying to fix the stuff for them because
Right.
just right. And we are all going through it and they have to go through it and I can't fix this.
Yeah.
So instead of me, and that prompted me to, I'm writing a blog post that I'm gonna publish tomorrow. Instead of me trying to fix things for them, I'm going to just model my behavior and just give them some tools on resilience so they can just pave their way right now as it is because my kids are really good, but lately they are really getting on each other's nerves.
Mhm.
They are getting really upset at me when I say anything to the contrary of what they say, and that's not their usual behavior.
Mhm.
And I think that's why I was so jumping into trying to fix things for them so they don't feel so fearful and anxious. And but you know what? The truth of the matter is I can't fix anything.
And
And they do have to go through those emotions anyway. So let's do it the best way we can do it. I mean, I'm the emotional intelligence expert. So let me teach them how to do it, right? So
and
we
those
really
sorry.
no, go ahead.
Those are emotions that if you can learn to just sit with them and be with them and feel them and know it's experience that it's going to be okay. It makes
Right.
it builds resiliency.
And that was part of our conversation yesterday is just it's really, really sitting with them,
Mhm.
listening to what they have to say. And I say that all the time, invite them for tea but don't invite them to stay over.
Right.
And I had the opportunity of explaining to them what that means when I say that, but I'm like, invite them for tea, meaning sit with them, just listen to what they are telling you. Just don't invite them to stay overnight, meaning don't let it linger for too long. Let's figure out ways to go through things. We talked about grieving right now, that we are all grieving the loss of our normal previous life. So that's totally normal, going through those stages, not in a linear way. And it just,
Mhm.
my son said, Mom, this all makes sense to me now, and I'm sorry that I've been kind of bratty, and I just feel so helpless. And that's when he was able to vocalize. Is that I just feel helpless and hopeless. Like the fear that we may not even start school next year. That means that I'm not going to get to see anyone for a year.
Mhm.
And so we got to talk about that, but it really got me thinking how our kids are really, really learning a lot through it right now. It's a lot of resilience learning.
It is. Yeah. Yep. That's true.
So you were right. It's just, modeling our behavior and sitting with our emotions and learning that we feed on each other's energy and emotions, and how we can help ourselves and help each other is just the best way to navigate.
Mhm. Right. And if we don't always model the best behaviors, acknowledging that, so modeling, cleaning it up.
Again, right? I mean, we all go through the ups and downs of the emotions, right? And again, it's just, if we can model it in a positive way, we are still modeling that we are human. And it
Yeah.
happens. Everything is so normal, just so normal.
Yeah.
We are all behaving the same way, even though we think that we are the only crazy ones.
Yeah. Yeah. So good learning and all this. Yeah.
Well, this was a good talk. We'll talk again Friday.
Yeah. I have a guest I'm going to bring on either Friday or Monday. So
Okay,
to talk about another perspective on gratitude. All right. So thank you.
that would
Have
be
a
nice.
good week.
You too. We'll talk Friday.
Sure.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.